You are probably wondering what kind of magnesium supplement is best because there are so many different kinds of supplements to choose from. Common ones are magnesium citrate, magnesium oxide, and magnesium threonate. Now, if you don't use the right ones, you can have unwanted side effects and they're not all the same.
Hi friends, someone just stole my credit card, so I had to just cancel it right now. And I haven't eaten breakfast, lunch, or dinner. I didn't pack anything because I was in such a hurry. So I found this $20 bill right here in my purse, and I got to make this last an entire day. I'm here at Sprouts. I'm going to go in. I have 10 minutes to spend to buy my breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And right now it is 12:25. I haven't eaten anything the whole day yet. Come on with me, and I'm going to try to get 3 healthy meals to last me the entire day. Okay, so I think I got my meals for the day. Let me show you what I have. Let me move my cups. Okay, this is my bag. And let me show you what it looks like inside. So let's look at the receipt first. You see how much I saved? I actually got some change back. Okay, so let's look at my bag. Okay, and then I'm gonna explain to you real quick because I gotta go to work. So I got Lactino Kale. This is my cruciferous vegetable. So this is supposed to last me the whole day. And this was, let's see, how much was this? $2. Okay, so $2. The way I would eat this is I would strip the stem apart. If I'm at home, I would probably cook it with other vegetables. And then usually the leaf part, I would blend it in a shake. I don't have a blender with me. Or I chop it up and you can stir fry it. Or, you know, the other thing I do, I just eat this as a sandwich wrap. So that was what I was planning to do for my lunch. I was going to wash these leaves and eat it as a sandwich wrap. And the reason why I want cruciferous vegetables is because of the sulforaphanes. Remember? Sulforaphanes are those super nutritious and longevity molecules. Now, to be clear, the kale doesn't have sulforaphane. It actually has glucoraphanin. And so when you break this up, when you massage it, glucoraphanin and myrosinase becomes sulforaphanes. And so I try to eat this every day, if not at least multiple times a week. And I try to diversify my vegetables. So let's see what else is in my bag. So the next thing in my bag is my favorite, sugar bee apples. Okay, the reason why I like sugar bee apples is because these apples are delicious. They're actually crunchy, they're sweet, and they just have the right texture. I like the red polyphenols in this apple. Too bad the whole apple is in red. I like the fact that it's from the state of Washington, so the US. And here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 small apples. Let me show you what they look like and what I look for. So I'm looking for symmetry, no bruising. You don't want to eat bruised fruit. Sometimes that bruised fruit can start to rot. You know, I don't open the bags to test them out, but what I do is I look around the bag since it's see-through, and I look underneath the bag to make sure nothing is rotten. I have bought fruit at stores that, you know, have rotten fruit because they didn't realize it was rotten. Oh, see, look at that. That has a bruise. I'm gonna have to take that out. And that looks like a tree branch kind of hit it. So I'm gonna shave that off, make sure the rest of it is edible to eat. I'm gonna go through these bags of apple in today. It's convenient. I'm gonna eat it as my first meal of the day, breakfast. I'm gonna eat it as a snack. I'm gonna eat a lunch. I bet you I can finish it in one day. This entire bag, which is like 2¼ pounds, it says. Okay, let me tell you how much the apples were. $6. Okay, so that bag of apple was $6. So the next thing is a can of black beans, okay? This can of black beans, it has a ton of fiber and protein. So this is how I'm gonna get my fiber and protein. The fiber is 5 grams per serving. There are 3.5 servings, right? So that's like, what's that, 5.2? So it's like 17, almost 18 grams of fiber if I eat this whole can, which is what I was gonna do for the day. It also has 8 grams of protein. So it has 3.5 servings. So 8 times 3 is 24 plus 0.5, 3 times, it would be about a little bit over 25 grams of protein for my daily need of protein. So I'm aiming for 1 milligram per kilogram of protein. I need roughly about 60 grams of protein a day. This will be part of my protein pack for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. See if I can finish it. So I'm not done yet. Let's take a look. All right. Okay. Look at this one. Do you know what this is? This is a sweet potato. It's a purple sweet potato. I'm not going to eat this raw, but I will eat the skin. Sweet potato skin, unlike potato skin, because sweet potatoes are a different family. Potatoes actually have a toxin in their skin, and so I try not to eat that. But sweet potato is for a different family of plants that doesn't have that toxin, and so it's safe to eat. I would just wash it. I'm gonna go wash this under running water, stab it with a fork in the microwave, and this will be a delicious, nutritious, anytime meal or snack. So I'm gonna eat this probably with my black beans, because my black beans won't have any flavor. I don't have any seasoning, right? I didn't bring anything with me. I didn't realize that my credit card would get stolen, so that I'm gonna just try to make this and flavor my kale and my black beans. This potato, let me show you how much that potato was. Almost a pound. So right here, it says 0.91 pounds, $1.99 a pound. So $2 a pound. So I bought almost a pound. So it's almost $1. All right. I'm not done yet. Look at this. I have kidney beans. Actually, I was supposed to get pinto beans, but I was at the checkout because I didn't want to go back. Okay, so look at the nutrition facts here. This is why I bought these beans. So all it has is organic kidney beans, water. It does have some salt, 6% of sodium, which is a little bit high, but I'm not really buying much sodium-rich foods elsewise. So then I bought protein, 7 grams of protein in here. So it's 3.5 servings in this whole can. I'm going to eat this whole can. So this would mean that this has a little bit about 22, 23 grams of protein, along with my black beans, which is 8. This is higher in proteins. So this is about 23, roughly 25. The two together would be 48 grams. I'm sure you guys can do the exact math, but roughly I'm going to get 50 grams of protein eating 2 cans of beans for the day, right? And this is my diet. So this is how I get my protein and my fiber. I'm trying to meet 50 grams of fiber. So this is 7 grams of dietary fiber, and this is 5 grams. Kidney beans and garbanzo beans. So this would be another 25. This would be another, let's see, 15 plus, I'm like testing my math right now. So this would be 15, about 17 grams of fiber here, and 17 plus roughly 24. That's roughly about 40, almost 40 grams of fiber right here, right? And so far, I got one more right here. Okay, so look at this receipt, right? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items. All right. Oh, I have onions. I forgot I have onions. Okay, here's my onion. I bought a red onion, and this red onion is how am I going to flavor my beans, because I just feel like every time when I eat red onions, everything else tastes gourmet. So I try really, really hard to eat red onions every day. Besides the fact that onions are a great prebiotic for my gut microbiome, everything I bought is going to feed my gut microbiome. And in addition, these onions, they have quercetin, one of the best sources of quercetin that I'm going to use to flavor my beans. By the way, I don't think I'll finish all the onions in one day. I mean, it's just too much onions, but we'll see. Okay, and then one more, and that is, look at that. I bought hummus. Okay, so because I was thinking, all my other foods are low in fat, not exactly the right texture, and I need a little bit of creaminess to like swallow this. I don't have any other things with me. So, this is 8 servings. Can you believe that this little thing is 8 servings? It's 8 ounces total. I am going to eat this hummus with everything else to help me eat everything else, and that whole thing cost me $17.96, right? A little bit under $20. And I got $2.04 for change just in case I need something else on an emergency. And I like hummus. It's the same. Garbanzo bean. So I try to eat garbanzo beans daily. I actually try to eat a variety of beans every day. So however I can get it mushed up. I'm probably going to mush this myself. I don't have a food processor or blender at work, but I have my hands and Ziploc bags. So I'm just going to use Ziploc bags in my hand and mush it up, and it'll be kind of hummusy like. And then mix it up with onions and a sweet potato. And I'll show you what I make later. All right, bye for now. Okay, I am starving. I need to eat this apple, and I need to figure out how to wash it. I don't eat any fruits or vegetables without being washed first. So I found this bottle of water. I'm just going to go and use this water bottle to wash my apple, and I'll be right back. I have my apple. Actually, I washed 2 apples, and I need to just eat this because this is so delicious. I haven't eaten the whole day yet. I think I can think so much better now. I was just so hungry because I haven't eaten the whole day. Okay, so now I got to figure out how to eat the other fruit that I just bought. So I gotta go find a can opener and then figure out what to do with the rest of my food because I'm still hungry. Okay, I'm back. I opened up 2 cans of beans and I rinsed them and I poured them in a Ziploc bag. I don't have any plates or, shoot, I forgot utensils. It's okay, I have gloves. I always have gloves. Okay, so I have kidney beans and garbanzo beans, right? So if I eat this whole thing, it'll give me a lot of protein and fiber. I washed my kale. I'll show you how to prep it in a sec. You know, if I cut this up, it will probably be several cups. So I would say probably 1 to maybe it'll be like 4 cups of kale. Okay, and then of course I have my hummus, but I don't have any spoons, but that's okay. I have my kale and I'll show you how I'll eat my kale with my hummus. Oh, this is my favorite. I microwaved this sweet potato. It's hot, so I don't want to put it in a plastic bag, but let me show you. This is a purple sweet, I believe it's purple. Hopefully it's purple. I try to scrub it as much as I can because, you know, it's a root vegetable. There are different kinds. There's like yellow, there's orange. This should be purple, I hope. Oh no, it's not purple, but it's okay. It's a yellow kind. I thought I bought purple. Oh well, look at that. Look at that steam. So this took me 10 minutes to microwave. I think next time I'm going to buy a skinny one. This was too fat. My whole car smells like sweet potato. It's a little bit hot, so I don't want to eat it right now. This is what it looks like. Isn't that delicious? This is delicious. I'm just going to eat this whole thing, including the skin. I scrubbed it as best as I could. I just basically microwaved it for 5-minute intervals. I poked a bunch of holes. You see how I did it? And then I microwaved it. That's it. I still have my apples. Oh, and my onions. Okay. I'm going to show you how I eat when I'm on the road. I'm going to get a Chuck's. Hold on one sec. So these things are so handy. They're good as bibs for people too. Otherwise, I'm just going to make a mess of myself. So I've learned to like put this over the steering wheel. And you know, as a mom, you learn a lot of these tricks. This is the onion. Let me get my gloves. So I usually eat with gloves if I am out. And I always have like gloves around for one reason or another. Usually I don't do this when I'm at home. I'm going to show you what I do when I'm traveling or when I'm at work and I don't have the right supplies. Okay, so I'm going to just peel the onion open. I washed this onion, so I just dip it. This will be my spoon. Literally, I'm dipping my onion in garbanzo beans. It's really tasty. So I generally strip this and eat it separate because it's a little hard to eat unless I chop it up. But I'm going to eat it as a scooper. Makes a great dip. This will be a little tricky. So I basically fold this up so it's like pretty tight. Dip it. So you really don't need any utensils. All right, so these beans, actually I washed them and I tried them. I'm just gonna eat them separate like this. They taste really good just by themselves. No, I didn't bring anything to season it, so I'm gonna eat it as a snack. It's a great snack. So I'm gonna work on this, but I just want to show you how I'm gonna eat these things. And then I'll talk to you about the nutrition later. Last thing, delicious, full of vitamin A, beta carotene, fiber. Okay, I'm just gonna eat this like a potato, except I have no silverware, so I'm just gonna use my hands. Now you can steam it, you can bake it, you can microwave it like I did when you're in a hurry, you can boil it. This could probably use a little bit longer microwaving. This part is probably really soft. It's a little dry. This part needs a little bit more microwaving. So I'm going to take this upstairs, and if you microwave it a little bit longer, it'll get softer. It's a little bit dry. I don't think I over microwaved it. I think it's just not microwaved enough. It's soft, but the longer you cook it, the softer and creamier it gets. It's a little bit too firm for me, but it still tastes really good. I'm going to have to go because I don't have a long time. And I have to go and get some work done. But I wanted to show you how I eat when I'm in a hurry. And I'll talk to you a little bit more about the nutrients that I got in this meal later.
Hi, friends. I am so thrilled that you want to take charge of your health and take charge of your food. Now, I know nutrition can be complex, but it doesn't have to be. And I'm here to support you in this lifelong journey. So if you point your camera app to this QR code, it'll take you to a link for a free handout that I created just for you. And if you like it, if you want to see other handouts, please go to the link in my show notes, and then you can leave me your feedback on what I could do to help you in your journey. Okay, back to the video now.
So I didn't finish everything that I bought. And if I did, I would have eaten 75 grams of fiber. There is just no way I can eat 75 grams of fiber in one sitting. I ate half the kale, half the hummus, and then I ate 3 apples and then half the sweet potato. And I was done and I had to go back to work. And honestly, I needed a break from the food. That one meal gave me calcium, 1 cup of chopped kale leaves is approximately 94 milligrams of calcium. And I ate about 3 cups in that one sitting, which is about 300 milligrams of calcium in just that one meal. And the kale, that also had magnesium. 1 cup of kale has about 23 milligrams of magnesium. And I only ate 3 cups, so that's roughly about 70 milligrams of magnesium. But that first meal, I ate half of the hummus, which is roughly 4 tablespoons, which is around 40 milligrams of magnesium. Now, I probably ate at least a cup of sweet potatoes. That's about 33 milligrams of magnesium. So far I've eaten less than 200 milligrams of magnesium for that one meal, which is pretty good because then I ate the rest of the food later on. But if that was the only thing I ate, it would not be enough. It would not meet the minimum recommended daily allowance of magnesium, which is different between men and women and children, as well as pregnant and breastfeeding women. So personally for me, I think magnesium is one of those minerals that are hard to determine exactly how much we need because we need more when we are using our bodies and if you're more active. So if I'm walking up and down all over the hospital or like doing my walks, hitting my 10,000 steps a day, which I try to, then I'm going to need more than just the minimum RDA allowance. I try really hard every day to meet a 10,000 step daily requirement. I don't always meet it, but I do try. So my activity level will be much higher than a person who is sedentary and has a desk job and doesn't really leave the house. And maybe meeting the minimum daily allowance is good enough for them when they're healthy. When they're unhealthy and they get a cold or they have other issues, they're probably going to need more. And this is why I personally take extra magnesium in the form of supplements just to make sure that I'm not inadequate or deficient. And the only way you know you're deficient is really when you start getting symptoms. And that's just not a good way to approach life. Now, you are probably wondering what kind of magnesium supplement is best because there are so many different kinds of supplements to choose from. Common ones are magnesium citrate, magnesium oxide, and magnesium threonate. Now, if you don't use the right ones, you can have unwanted side effects and they're not all the same. So first, it's important to know that magnesium deficiency is very different from magnesium inadequacy. And over time, if you are inadequate every day, eventually you're going to be deficient. You first have to get inadequate to get deficient. And approximately 50% of Americans, they don't meet their minimum recommended daily allowance for magnesium. So 50% of people are inadequate every day. And when you're low or inadequate, your body withdraws from your magnesium saving account. Do you know where you save your magnesium? From your bone. So magnesium is so important that your body strives very hard not to be deficient because it literally is used for over 300 enzymatic reactions in your body. It's involved in energy production and glucose metabolism, as well as vitamin D metabolism. So if you don't eat an adequate amount of magnesium, you can actually go broke in your health. But if you eat an adequate amount, it can actually improve your insulin sensitivity and reduce your risk of type 2 diabetes. Magnesium is also important to help your blood vessels relax. And when your blood vessels relax, then you're not going to have high blood pressure. So magnesium works synergistically with potassium and calcium when it comes to your blood vessel health. And people who are magnesium deficient, they not only will have high blood pressure, they're also going to have heart arrhythmias. So that's why getting an adequate amount of magnesium for your physical needs is super vital for the health of your muscles, including your heart muscles. But the biggest muscles in your body would be your skeletal muscles that supports your bones. And magnesium balances calcium to allow you to contract your muscles. Now, one of the first signs that you could be magnesium deficient is muscle spasms or muscle cramps. And that was me. I was severely deficient during medical school. I actually went to go play soccer one afternoon, and it was so sad that I just flexed my knee, and then my thigh went into a Charlie horse, and I couldn't unflex it. It was so painful, I didn't even get to kick the ball. I hobbled home and I couldn't even take a shower properly. The soap fell down the tub and I couldn't reach down to pick up the soap. That's how important magnesium is. And you don't want to wait until you have symptoms to do something about that. And I was supposedly young and healthy. Now, it is amazing that I didn't get anxiety or depression from the lack of magnesium. Because basically without magnesium, your neurons can't balance in transmission of signals to each other to communicate effectively. And like everything else in life, when you lose the balance of your neurotransmitters, which are your chemical messengers known as glutamate and GABA, GABA stands for gamma aminobutyric acid. If these things are imbalanced, then you may be too anxious or depressed instead of being calm and relaxed. I'm always striving to be more calm and relaxed. So I look for foods that have magnesium because I know so many people lack it. And the bulk of what I ate today and what I bought is filled with magnesium. Because I don't want to wake up one day with a fracture and discover that I have osteoporosis because I didn't get enough magnesium, right? Something so cheap to supplement. And it's a good thing that I'm not taking any medications because there are several medications that interfere with the metabolism of magnesium. Some of these medications reduce the absorption. Some of them literally bind to magnesium, and others actually interfere with how your body excretes magnesium. And hence, it's really important that if you are on any drugs, you should talk to your provider to make sure that those drugs aren't interfering with your magnesium. Because if that's the case, then it's probably a good idea to supplement to make sure that you're not deficient. So let's talk about some specific types of magnesium. I think the most common form of magnesium that I see people using is magnesium oxide. Now, magnesium oxide is high in elemental magnesium, but it's a really effective laxative, or people use it to treat heartburn. That's because it's poorly absorbed. So it's not a best way to replenish your body's magnesium stores. Diarrhea is not what we're trying to achieve. Another magnesium that is also commonly on the market is magnesium sulfate. You can buy it as Epsom salt, and I generally use it topically to treat wounds, but some people have used it as a laxative. It's an osmotic laxative, so what it does is it draws water into the intestine, therefore it softens the stool and helps you have a bowel movement. It's also poorly absorbed. Sometimes we use it to clean out people's colon before a procedure. And because it's an osmotic laxative, it can mess with your fluid and electrolyte balance. And so this is why, if you're going to orally ingest it, you need to get with your healthcare provider, because you can actually get in serious trouble from losing other electrolytes. But I love it as a topical agent. And in general, when you're doing anything topically that's wet, it's not advised to continually soak your skin so it's macerated. And I generally limit that to about 15 minutes. And I always make sure that I pat dry my skin so that I'm not slipping and sliding on the floor. Now, you may see your doctor giving you intravenous magnesium, and that will probably be the form of magnesium sulfate. And sometimes we do it to replace people's magnesium levels quickly or to help some muscle to relax. You have 3 types of muscles: skeletal muscles, your heart muscle, as well as smooth muscles. The smooth muscles line your blood vessels and your airways. And of course, your heart muscle is only in your heart. And if these things are contracted or can't relax, then if we give magnesium sulfate, it can help your muscles relax. And this can relieve breathing issues or heart arrhythmias. But Epsom salt, magnesium sulfate, is a big problem if you have kidney problems. You can get quite toxic quite quickly. And if you OD on magnesium, you can get arrhythmias. Your muscles can also get weaker. You can actually get paralyzed. And this, of course, will affect your breathing and your heart because, like I said, you have smooth muscles and cardiac muscles that control your lungs as well as your heart. In general, people with kidney disease should not be using any magnesium supplements unless they are being prescribed by a physician, or your specific physician, I should say. It is my least favorite form to ingest unsupervised. That's because Epsom salt is just such a powerful laxative that it can cause electrolyte imbalances. Now, did you know that people who eat more leafy greens, dark leafy greens like kale, they seem to have better memory? And that's also why I target leafy greens. So in your brain, you have receptors called N-methyl D-aspartate receptors, or NMDA receptors. And this is critical for synaptic plasticity of memory formation and learning. Now, I am learning every single day, and I hope I do that for the rest of my life. So magnesium, it acts as a natural gatekeeper by blocking NMDA receptors under the resting condition. And by doing so, it prevents the unnecessary activation of the receptor glutamate. Now, when glutamate is released, signals between neurons are transmitted, and this increases long-term potentiation, a process that strengthens the neurons to communicate and to connect. And the end result is better learning and memory. And this memory includes what you see, your vision, what you hear, your hearing, and your touch or pain. So as we age, we're always learning from our environment all the time through our sight, our hearing, and our touch. So when you stimulate your NMDA receptors, you're enhancing your synaptic plasticity, memory formation, and learning. If this is imbalanced, it can lead to conditions like migraine headaches. Now, of course, there's several reasons why people get migraine headaches, but a low level of magnesium just doesn't help. And sometimes simply by improving magnesium levels, people find extreme benefit, reduce episodes of migraines, or even resolution of their migraines. Now, mood disorders are pretty prominent these days. People either feel sad, anxious, or depressed. And there, of course, there's a lot of reasons why. But we do know that GABA is involved, and the more GABA activity, the more we can modulate the stress response to improve mood. And you can imagine that when you're chronically magnesium deficient, then that could lead you to be more susceptible to conditions such as Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and even seizures, especially if you're predisposed to having those conditions. And partially, this is because magnesium is also a strong antioxidant. It helps reduce oxidative stress, especially in the brain. Your brain is always undergoing a ton of oxidative stress from breathing, from just the oxygen that we inhale. And your brain is primarily made out of fat. So fat and oxygen just doesn't go together. So if you want to optimize your antioxidants to help your brain, then it's important that you are adequate at magnesium. So before we talk about supplements, let's talk about magnesium-rich foods. So on this list are magnesium-rich foods, and some, I achieved chickpeas, beans, kale, but as you can see, I skipped out on the nuts and seeds. And I guess I could have gone to the loose leaf bin to get some of these nuts and seeds, but I honestly didn't have time to. And it's something that I'm going to keep in mind the next time when I'm at the store. And those bins are pretty good if you don't want to buy an entire bag of nuts and seeds that's going to take you several days or several weeks to consume. By the way, how do you know if you're magnesium deficient? Well, the first symptoms are really no symptoms, because when you first start, you actually just have clinical insufficiency, because then your body is drawing its stores from your bone. But when your body can't withdraw enough savings for your body's needs, then you start getting deficient. Some of the first signs of a struggling magnesium level could be constipation. That's because you have muscles in your colon that helps you poop, and you need magnesium to help those smooth muscles contract. So if you don't have enough, then you may have a problem pooping. Now, I mentioned, of course, headaches. They are caused by a lot of reasons, but magnesium, remember, are important for your neurons to talk to each other. And when they don't have a balance of neurotransmitters, that can probably influence the frequency of headaches. Now, fatigue is another non-specific symptom. Lots of different things can cause fatigue. Just not drinking enough water for a day or not sleeping well can cause fatigue. Keep in mind, so can the lack of nutrients, such as magnesium. If you have sore muscles, if you have cramped muscles, then it may be a magnesium deficiency. This is so common in the population. And keep in mind that your activity level will dictate how much magnesium you need. So if you're running a marathon, contracting your muscles for hours, you're going to need more magnesium than the person sitting and watching YouTube. But before you feel cramps, you may have creeping high, elevated blood pressures. So a high blood pressure can be a sign of magnesium deficiency. And again, this is because your arteries are made out of muscles, smooth muscles. And if it can't relax, then it continues to choke your blood vessels, which then makes it more difficult for your heart to pump. But your heart's still going to pump with the same force or even more. And then that pressure, that supernatural pressure, will push against arterial walls. And that's kind of the beginning of atherosclerosis. And eventually it will cause permanent damage to your blood vessels. If your blood pressure continues to remain high, then your heart muscles will also struggle. It won't be able to beat properly, and it may start having arrhythmias because it just needs to work too hard. But before any of this happens, you probably just notice a change in mood, because the brain is just that delicate. It uses the most amount of resources compared to any other organ in your body, because we pretty much need our command center, our brains, to tell us to do almost everything. And it takes a lot of work to keep the command center healthy. Their neuronal connections just don't stay healthy on their own. when it's not working properly, then people are more susceptible to mood disorders. And just being irritable is a mood problem. And of course, all these things can happen, and if you're oblivious, then one day you may wake up with a broken bone. That's osteoporosis. So this is one mineral that everybody should be paying attention to make sure that they're getting an adequate amount for their physical needs. And I believe it's a significant factor for why we have high rates of type 2 diabetes, metabolic syndrome, heart disease, and high blood pressure. If you're on the supplement aisle, you're going to find magnesium citrate. Now, magnesium citrate will be better absorbed to help your muscles relax, but it can also be used to relieve constipation. Now, I personally like magnesium bisglycinate. Most people find it to be more tolerable in the GI tract, and because it's well absorbed, it can help to promote relaxation, reduce anxiety, and improve sleep. You may also find magnesium chloride. That can also help support your muscles and nerves, but unfortunately, a lot of people don't tolerate this formulation because it's a bit hard on the stomach. Magnesium malate is also beneficial for the muscles, and it is definitely better tolerated than magnesium chloride when it comes to the GI system. Now, magnesium threonate, that actually crosses the blood-brain barrier. So a lot of people use this to support cognitive function and memory. And it's probably the most expensive magnesium on the market, and I don't commonly find it in a regular supermarket. Now, the last form of magnesium is magnesium L-lactate. Now, all magnesium is primarily absorbed in the small intestine, the jejunum and ileum specifically. And some of the absorption of magnesium is by active transport, but there are also magnesium absorbed passively through passive diffusion. If you take a lot of magnesium, then your colon will actually absorb a small amount. And it's not so easy just taking the supplement and absorbing all of them because there are several factors that affect magnesium absorption, including how adequate your hydration is, how adequate your protein levels are, and how adequate your vitamin D levels are. Now, if you're eating a lot of calcium or phosphate or phytic acid, as well as certain medications along with your magnesium supplement, then they may be reducing the amount of magnesium that you're actually absorbing. And interestingly, the absorption on a given day can actually change depending on your gut. So some people have suggested that it may be more beneficial to rotate different types of magnesium even within a day. Now, I also mentioned that vitamin D was important for magnesium absorption. Well, magnesium is also important for adequate vitamin D levels. And if you want to learn more about that, check out the next video.